Welcome to the Rocket Launcher Podcast. This is episode 157. I am your host, Supreme King, and join with me as always is my co-host, and his name is...
It's your guy Omazus.
How's it going? How's everything going today?
Good. I finally finished all of the animated Resident Evil movies.
Oh, really? All right. I finished Doom: The Dark Ages. I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later. Finally, it took a while. It was a bunch of hiccups in the middle because of stuff going on, but that was finished, and I got a special treat for some of you fans out there of the Monster Tamers. You know what I'm saying? But don't get it twisted. I'm gonna just put it like this: it's still Team Digimon all day. I'm rocking on the Digimon side. You know what I'm saying? I know there's a war going on right now, so I just want to let it be known on what side I stand on. You know what I'm saying? But I had to creep on the other side. If anybody recalls, I had purchased said title on the screen with a little gift card that was given to me a long time ago. So what you are witnessing right now is the Pokemon ZA, the Pokemon Legends ZA. You know, a lot of mixed reviews because of the Digimon game that's out right now, and I can see why. This ain't no Digimon. You know what I'm saying? I was almost falling asleep in this fake Harry Potter, get up right here. You know what I'm saying? They stole this from Harry Potter. Clearly, this is what what I'm talking about. This is where they go jump into the wall. You know what I'm saying? And then just like being
subways exist.
Okay.
Outside of Harry Potter, but continue.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I was trying to enjoy this game, but I was like, man, where the guns at? You know what I'm saying? You know, some of these other games they innovate. You feel me? They got the guns and everything. I'm like, what are we doing? We want to walk into heaven? What is this? I don't know. I was like, how do you transition like this? I don't know what was going on, but that's what they did. You know what I'm saying? I was, I made it through it. I made it through it. You know, this is the impressions. You know what I'm saying? We gonna be fair. We gonna be impartial. You feel me? We gonna be fair. First of all, can we get a dude who look like a dude? I'm just saying. If we gonna make dudes, they had no options like to create your character to actually make him look like a dude. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. I was like, all right, when I actually go back to play this, I'm gonna have to play as a chick, cause this is supposed to be a dude right here. That don't look like no dude to me. I'm just saying. Anyways, this was a pre-order. This is the Nintendo Switch 2 edition. So yes, it's the red cartridge version. This, because it was a pre-order through, I believe, Walmart, it did come with some pins. So I got them right here. On the pin is the same Pokemon that's right in the middle. His name is T-Pig. And then there's a Pokemon Legends ZA pin as well. I tried to get the Best Buy version, because the Best Buy version, I believe, like the pre-order came with like a mat or whatever, something like a desk mat. I think it's a mouse pad. But, they didn't want to accept my gift cards back then. They was over there acting like I was some sort of fraudster or something. So it was like I couldn't get it there. Walmart had me covered, so I got it there. So that's the version I got. I chose your boy Totodile. That was the guy I had when I played Soul Silver. I was like, I gotta bring Totodile back. You feel me? Just for this footage or whatever. When I go back in, I'm gonna change my name and like change the way the character look, like when I actually get to this game. But I played as Totodile. How is the game? I mean, it's straightforward. We got the Karen right here on the screen. I didn't know what was going on, but they threw Karen at me out of nowhere. She was like, hey, my name is Karen. Here's my Pokemon. I was like, all right, what's going on? I was like, you know, we like 4 or 5 minutes into it. I'm like, where the guns at, man? Ain't no guns. I thought we was innovating here, man. I thought we was past the other part of the games, you know. But there was no guns, unfortunately. I was like, okay, you know, where's the crest of friendship? I ain't see no crest of friendship, none of that, man. I was like, man, what's going on with this guy? And then they got Bugs Bunny on the screen. I'm like, oh, they ripping off Bugs Bunny. Looney Tunes should sue, man. That's what I'm saying. Maybe Looney Tunes should sue. You saw Bugs Bunny. You saw him. You just saw him.
Bugs Bunny like that.
I mean, and what we got over here? What is this? Who is this guy? I don't know. A little goat or something. You know, some lamb chops, some gyro sandwiches. You know. Anyways, what we like 6-7 minutes into this footage already. Still no guns. I was like, you know what? This ain't a 10 out of 10. I'm just saying. It wasn't a 10 out of 10 experience. It probably would have been if they had guns. They didn't have guns. But anyways, this is your kind of game. I was trying to figure out why they kept throwing this symbol on the screen every couple of minutes, because I was like, I didn't know what he was trying to talk about. There is no voice acting, bro. I was just like, dog. All this dialogue on the screen, and they'll literally have them like right there moving their mouth in front of each other and everything with just nothing. It's just dead silence. like at this point, you know, because they charged all this money, they couldn't get no voice actors, bro. Where we at?
I'm honestly, to be honest, I don't even think they really have to pay for voice actors. I honestly feel like they could reach out to like a couple Twitch streamers and be like, you get a free copy of the game if you read these dialogue lines. And they will gladly do it. They probably would still buy the game and do it. Like, there are Pokey fans that will sit here and just be like, I got to be in the game and do the voice. Like, they legit don't have to actually pay voice actors. There isn't really an excuse at this generation. Like, it made sense for, like, the Game Boy Advance ones to not have voice. That's just what classic RPGs look like. But at this point, there is zero excuse to not have at least half of the like every cutscene should at least be voice acted. If it's not just when you're casually talking to people, the cutscene should be voice acted. And they can easily do it for free. I actually saw a video before of some streamer who was uploading gameplay of, like, I want to say Scarlet and Violet, like doing Violet, and she was just doing the voices for like different characters as reading, and when she was reading off for the voice of like the main girl in the game, not the main character, but the rival girl, everyone was just like, this just feels better. Like, just hearing it doesn't have to be a super professional, but just someone's voice, just it feels better than just empty, just talking and clicks and ding.
One of my man's right here, I think his name is Andre. One of my man, like, he got more of a masculine look, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I could have played as him. Like, they gave me no options.
Not that
to,
this
like,
is an excuse, but I think it's unfortunately they're trying to make it like a kid. Like, they're always trying to make it young, and in their head, young is not like, I guess.
But I mean, if you took the if you took the little two, you know, his facial hair off of him, he would have looked like a kid too a little bit.
We know that. Like, we know, for some reason they don't know that. Like, we know that though.
Because the dude looked a little bit like slightly more, you know, just slightly more. And I'm just like, all right. Now, this the funny part. This about to be the funniest part of this footage. Because I was fully caught off guard with this game. Now, you see this dialogue here where it has like press up or down. It's like usually you would have a choose yes or no kind of thing. They do a lot of dialogue where it's like it's progressing the same way no matter what. I'm like, why even have like say this or say that if it's going to progress the same way? You know what I'm saying? I don't understand that. But here I go. I choose your boy, Mr. Totodile. You know what I'm saying? And when I tell you, I was so caught off guard, right? So clearly we about to battle these people right here, right? Tell me why I really thought it was a turn-based, it was about to be turn-based, right? I had no idea. And then this dude just started running up on me. I'm like, yo, what is going on? He was running up on me. And I'm trying to follow what they telling me to do on the screen, but I'm playing with the Joy-Cons with the little grip thingy that they have. I didn't put like a regular controller because they weren't charged because I don't be on the Switch like that. So I was like, all right, I was playing with that. And so it was trying to tell me to press one of the buttons to lock onto the Pokemon. And I'm trying to do that, but I'm like very much used to playing Doom. Like I was just getting done, I just got done playing like a very demonic looking, gruesome, bloody, evil looking game and then jump right into something that looked like this. And so when the dude ran up on me, I like moved back like what the heck is happening? And I'm trying to like move around and stuff. It's about to be funny. Cause you're gonna see me jumping in the menu, like the buttons that they tell you to press on the screen. If you don't press the lock on button first, it just basically gonna start making you go straight to the menu. And it's like not what I was trying to do. And I'm like, wait a minute. Like he running towards me and I was running towards him. I was like, wait. And I'm trying to like lock on and he's attacking me. And you know what's really crazy about this? It really don't matter where you run or where they run. Your hits is landing like 100%. Like I don't know if it's because it's the tutorial.
I think so. Because the way the battles are supposed to work is you assign it to do attacks. You like kind of have to aim, but it's gonna work for the most part. I heard it's over easy. What the moving is for is like if you move at the right time, you can like that's how you would like avoid an attack last minute. It doesn't always work, but for like certain attacks you do that. But then also special attacks can typically hit from a distance, like a beam. But like any sort of like fang attack, you have to be close. So if you're constantly moving back in a way, they can't use the fang attacks or anything that's close because you're away from it.
I'm trying to hit the button here to do the attack because it say press X and A on the screen, but you gotta lock on first, and like my lock on button not working, and I'm like it keeps taking me to the menu, and then from the menu you can see the attacks right there, so it was kind of confusing. I'm like trying to make him do the attack and I just couldn't do it, and it was just silly. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna just start powering up. The dude is hitting me and never missing. It don't matter where I run on the board. The dude is never missing, and I'm trying to lock on to hit the dude. I barely could do it. I'm like, dog, what is happening here? I'm like, well, since when they do Pokemon like this, I'm like, what the heck? You supposed to stand over there and I stand over here and we throw the things at each other and that's it, man. They done made it. I'm like, what we doing, man? They doing all types of stuff. It was too much for me, man. It was too much going on. I was like, I was ready to pull the blicky out and I couldn't pull the blicky out because they didn't put the blicky in the game. I'm like, where's the Splatoon version? We can't pull the what's the names, paintball guns or nothing. We ain't got none of that, man. My man's just tagging me left and right, and I'm using all the potions on the first fight and everything. I'm trying to like lock onto the dude, and I like they locked onto me 100%. I can't even get a hit in. I'm like, dog, like what is happening? Like I did not know the controls at all. And what's bad about it is like on the Switch, the controls are different depending on what controller you use, because all the little third-party controllers is a different controller, and nobody really wants to play with the Joy-Cons. I was just doing the Joy-Cons because they was the only thing that was charged, because it was charged on the system. But as you can see, I was doing a terrible job with this. Terrible job, man. Terrible job. This what y'all be waiting for? This is y'all game? Is this your king? This game right here? I don't know. I'm just saying, man.
I'm kind of relatively done.
I was trying to figure it out.
I had a lot of complaints, so
I was trying, man. Look, if you want to see, ladies and gentlemen, somebody who lived under a rock and was not playing modern Pokemon games, this is what it looks like if you give it to somebody who don't know what's going on at all. Because I was literally like, and I gotta use, that's my last potion, I think. I'm trying to hit the dude. He hitting me every single hit. He is just tagging me. And I'm like, how do you hit the dude? He's standing right in front of me. Like I'm trying to move back to get distance so I could do it. He just tagging me. I'm like, bro, this little Pokemon, he almost lost in the first game. Or the first match. It still wasn't working, bro. I'm like, I'm pressing the button, it's not working, bro. I don't know. I was like, God forbid I had to like fight a Mewtwo or something. Like, at least it was a little cat or whatever this thing is. I'm like, dang, bro, this was terrible. Finally hit him. Finally got him, bro. After like 2-3 potions, whatever, and the black guy dies first, as you can see. I was like, what kind of game is this, man? What's going on, man? I'm just saying. Mixed reviews from what I've seen in the out there in the Metacritic space. The running joke is that Pokemon is getting ready to, or Nintendo is getting ready to sue Digimon, right? Because Digimon is doing good. I mean, we got two big hitters right now. We got the Power World from last year, and then the the Digimon Tamers from this year. It's like maybe Pokemon might as well retire, man. You think it's over? You think it's done? I don't know. The streets is talking.
It's not done, but there's a lot of people like me who don't really, even though they play a lot of them, I still don't call myself like diehard. Who are sort of done. Like, so there was nothing really about this game that felt.
So why would you be done? What would make you be done?
So yeah, there was nothing about this game that felt all that appealing to me. Like, it felt like a step down from Legends Arceus, right?
Okay.
Which is weird for the sequel to be a step down, right? The confined to one city isn't terrible, but every part of the city looks the same, right? There's not like different biomes, so there's like everything looks the same, everything looks bland. At this point, voice acting at this level is like not having it is lazy.
I did like this part. I ain't gonna lie. Fist pumping the Totodile. That was a highlight. That was my only highlight.
But between that and then from before, when I saw what the story stuff kind of was, it didn't feel all that like appealing. Didn't feel like that much to grasp into. It doesn't feel like a step up in any way, and it's starting to feel even lower. Like, at most, a lot of the games felt like stagnant, but like I've caught myself like, before I used to like get a Pokemon game and that was kind of like all I played until I was done. And now it's like I haven't finished the remake for the Brilliant Diamond. I didn't finish Scarlet, and I didn't finish Legends Arceus. Like, and I just have no real desire for like going back, and like I don't know, it doesn't feel great. So like nothing about this felt like, oh man, the new Pokemon, I can't wait to get it. It just didn't feel that way. And then with them constantly being high price, already announcing DLC, it just felt weird. Like I don't know. So I don't want to say like I'm completely off of the series. Like it's not like it's like I refuse to go back, but like I need something else to kind of draw me in, and this for some reason ain't doing it.
All right, I know I'm joking around with everything, having some fun with it, but I will admit, this didn't. Yeah.
I was gonna say, for example, for what you're just doing here, that just looks so empty, right? Like it just didn't look like anything in the world was like thriving. Like at the very least, like have people sitting down in the windows, like somewhat see through. Like it just feels like an empty world, like the whole thing. It just feels lazy.
Yeah. I will say I did do better with this one. I did better with this fight. I understood a little bit. It's like now I don't look as novice as before. I don't look like I work for IGN. But I will say as a game, it didn't really draw me in. Now, yes, I'm only in the first 30 minutes. And I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm not going to just play it or whatever, because I do own it, right? So I'm obviously going to give it a real shot at some point. It's just for this part, it just wasn't, maybe because I was expecting turn-based, or I just wanted to play something more turn-based. Like I said, I was really out of the loop with the title, so I did not know it was about to be like some sort of live battle. But it just didn't make me say, like how you were saying you want to play this and only this until you were done. It was like, no, I just kind of got the footage that I need, and going back to what I was playing before. That's kind of where I was with it. But I will play this, hopefully to completion at some point. And I do know for a lot of the seasons, you don't necessarily have to follow chronological order. Like this, for example, you just kind of jump in and then there you go. So I might jump around, but technically the game that I'm playing, if we're talking Pokemon, is still Pokemon Emerald. Here and there, it's not a main title right now. But as far as impressions of this, like, unless you just grew up with it and you were like a Pokemon diehard, I don't see you really sticking with this, to be honest. You would have to be like, drinking the Kool-Aid for a long time, right? Like everybody else. Other than that, it didn't really do much for me. But I will admit, I did not have any crashes, a bunch of screen tearing, frame rate issues. Like, it was solid, because I know that was a thing with the other Pokemon, right? But at the same time, this is a Switch 2 version. So, they probably have some upgrades to it here and there. I don't know how the Switch 1 version works, but yeah, this footage is just straightforward footage. I was able to capture everything with no problem. Graphic wise and everything, I mean, it still kind of looks dated, to be honest. That's just for me. I know for a Pokemon fan, they're not going to care about that at all. But yeah, and I'm not as familiar with a lot of the other Pokemon. Like this thing that's flying around apparently is 3,000 years old according to the dialogue. I'm like, okay, does that make a mega level or whatever? I don't know, but he's just old. It seemed pretty powerful because it's about to do something really crazy right here, and everybody else was like, "Oh shoot!" I was like,
"Still old."
Yeah. It was like, "Don't mess with us, or I'll hit you with a Kamehameha wave." Apparently, so, yeah. But this is a game that you're gonna play at some point. You still gonna give this one a shot?
I don't know. So one, I don't want to play like a suboptimal version, and I don't plan on getting a Switch 2, like at least anytime soon. So
well, they do still have this on Switch 1 though, right?
Yeah, but I feel like it's like going to be purposely not optimized to try and encourage you to have a Switch 2. So
I mean,
yeah, I don't know. Like I don't really have a desire to like really want to play this. Like I don't know. Like it doesn't feel that much. I think also another thing that I was talking about was like with the dated, like how you mentioned the dated stuff and everything. Like even some of the attack animations and like I don't know, and not to keep comparing it because I know everyone's comparing it, but like when you do compare it to like Digimon, Time Stranger with this, and it's like all of the different, even with the turn-based, it's like the different attack animation, or even if you want to stick to the same thing, if you want to compare this to Pokken Tournament DX and everything, like it felt more action-packed and like slightly more animations for that fighting game, and I get it, like that one only has a roster of like at most like 20 Pokemon compared to everything you have to do here, but like Time Changer, like a lot of them have different animations. Like it's not just like a shake and then like random fangs just appear in the air, right? Like it looks like it's doing something in the Pokemon game. And like when I always talk about the step up, again, it's like if you compare, as like I've played the Digimon story games, right? Cyber Sleuth, Hacker's Memory, and then the demo for Time Stranger, and it felt like a step up, even if it was only minor stuff. Like it's not a crazy reinvent the wheel from Hacker's Memory to Time Stranger, at least from the demo that I've played, but it still felt like at least like more, right? If you compare God of War with God of War Ragnarok, which you even made several jokes saying that this was just God of War like DLC, like it was just a continuation, it wasn't a sequel. It still had like a little more. Maybe people didn't really want to play as Atreus, but like it felt more. The story felt like a little more like it clearly felt like more. Where again, this comparing to the Legends Arceus game feels like a step back. Like I felt like this should have been the first one, and Arceus should have been the second one.
I will say though, my biggest gripe overall though is still the lack of or just no voice acting. Because within this, I know it's in the beginning, but there's a lot of dialogue, and when I say it's
Yeah.
just silent, it's like nothing. It's like just nothing. So that was just a little disappointing coming from like a game like other games that have full voice acting, like really cinematic looking shots and stuff. Then you jump to this and it's just kind of like, oh, you know, which is still supposed to be, you know, this is supposed to be the new hotness, right? It's supposed to be, you know, kinda. I don't know. Well, I got a bunch of Switch 2 games that's coming my way because I pre-ordered a bunch of stuff with gift cards. So I'll try to keep up with whatever's new. But I don't think this is terrible. I just think it was just not what I was expecting. And I'm only really disappointed really in the voice acting because there's just no voice acting. But I guess from a Pokemon fan, like some diehard would be like really upset with me for saying that, right? So, but my understanding is there's no voice acting in any of the games. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
But like again, it also like again when you compare it to like again Pokemon Emerald, right? Like some of the old school ones where everything's like kind of sprite and stagnant, right? It's not and like here, his mouth is moving and he's like animated.
Yeah,
and,
it's just
like,
going and
shaking,
with nothing.
and it's just nothing. Just... Where it's like the old school ones, it's like a stagnant image where you're reading. It just feels like this is acceptable there and not acceptable here. And I would even say from Scarlet and Violet, that was one of the biggest things missing. It felt like too, where it's just empty silence and just exposition text, and it's like, well, no, like again, like cutscenes should at least be somewhat voice acted to a degree. And again, like I don't feel like it's gonna really cost them that much for like voice. Nobody's asking for like Matt Mercer or what's his name? Trey Barker? Or was it,
Troy Baker.
Troy Baker.
He's like in every game except this one.
Yeah, I don't like. We don't need Troy to be the one doing the voice in here.
They could have like legit had gotten some YouTubers and they would have did it for clout.
Exactly. Yeah, they would have. There's so many, and they're not even just full on YouTubers. There's some just like heavy Twitch streaming Poke fans that got their like 100 like followers that will gladly do the voice and probably still do well. No one's wanting expert voice acting. They just want reasonable voice acting. Somebody reading the lines with like inflection. Like that's it. Like how many of those AA games were like had so much voice? There was one that I was playing, Greedfall, where like everybody I think was like a French voice actor but trying to not be French. So like every voice just sounded like it was one where it was like it was a French guy trying to sound like a native, but like not do a stereotype native, I guess, accent, whatever that would be. So because they weren't supposed to be like American native, like it was supposed to be just some random island. So it was weird. They had one where they got like an Irish or like it was like an Irish voice actor, but the Irish voice actor was trying to do like a French accent for a character. Like it was just all bad. But like it was voice acted, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't the worst thing, and it didn't throw you off from the game. It just felt a little goofy, and you could tell it was like, okay, they didn't get expert voice actors, but it's fine. And Pokemon can clearly, like you said, there's so many that would do it for clout. They would even do something where it's like, Pokemon Go, the first like 10 people who catch like however many of a specific Pokemon will get an invite to do the voices for something. You know, like it would increase the like people playing that game as well. Like they would clearly get people that would gladly do this. They could hold a contest and like gladly do this, and it would cost them really nothing to put it into the game, and they just don't want to do it.
Yeah. Well, that was Pokemon Legends ZA. We can move on. The next game on the screen currently, this is Doom: The Dark Ages. I played this on PC through Game Pass. Got it done before before it like expired, right? And so I actually finished the game just not too long ago, and today actually early this morning. uh, but this footage here is like really early on, so I wasn't really as good as I am at the game now. But I gotta say, for the title itself, definitely 8.5 out of 10. Very fun, run and gun, all the different things. The shield is just such a chef's kiss. I think they did an excellent job on the shield. Um, it's somewhat difficult, not really though. I think it's okay, but they have their moments where it's like it can get really intense. So much going on, so many things to try to shoot at the same time, and they're all coming at you. But yeah, Doom Eternal, or not Doom Eternal, Doom the Dark Ages, I highly recommend it. I think a lot of people should play it. From my understanding, they just updated Steam Deck support and portable support for some of the handhelds, where I think before it wasn't like optimized for it properly. It's just now being optimized for it. And then if you are somebody who wants to buy this straight up, I've seen it go on sale to drop to like the $45 range. It's still a relatively new game, so I don't expect this to really just drop in price like that. I would be surprised if it did drop to $30 this Black Friday. But I will say this is definitely worth $30. Absolutely, for sure. Not really 70. Almost everything is not worth 70 to me, but this is definitely a really, really, really fun game. Highly recommended. I don't know how much more I can really say about it, but you're playing Doom 2016, right? I'm gonna jump to that probably after the holiday season. I'm booked for holiday season, really. But this isn't really horror. It's like action horror. It's not necessarily a scary game. It's just, weird, evil stuff is going on. Similar to how we're playing Diablo 4 Vessels of Hatred, I believe. Well, that ain't really scary, but it's just like it's a bunch of, evil-ish stuff going on as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm playing Guacamelee too.
Yeah, I don't know how evil that is.
It's Day of the Dead. It's Day of the Dead inspired skeletons. You switch back and forth between a living and a dead world. So,
well, Diablo in this is a little bit more gruesome-ish looking.
Yes.
So I do think if you really stick to it, you could play those two games and really hustle through and finish it before Halloween. This game doesn't have that long of a campaign. It is 22 chapters, and the first 20 chapters will run you like 40 minutes to an hour almost. But like if you was to look up how long to beat, it will say like 12 hours long. I do think that's still kind of accurate because some of those chapters are like more on the low end, like 40 minutes long, especially when you hop in like a Megazord, because they have like they low Megazords, right? Those chapters are short, but then like the last few chapters when you're getting into like the end game part of it, like each one of those chapters are like an hour, right? And it's like really tough fights, cinematic stuff and everything. So that's the whole thing. I will say, like, I'm gonna tell you the full story later, but I was annoyed because I was kind of having a bad day yesterday where like the whole power cut off basically while playing. I was playing this and the power cut off, so when the power actually finally came back on, the footage that I was using was corrupted basically, and I couldn't use it. And there was like at least one important boss fight that's just like lost now. I have no footage for it, which you could argue might be okay because like this game is relatively new, and it's like that would be kind of spoilers in a way, so I don't have the footage to spoil it. Everything else like right now is just whatever you run into it, you just kind of fight and shoot and stuff, right? But yeah, highly recommended. 8.5 out of 10. I only played on PC. I didn't necessarily play this on a handheld or on the Xbox, so I can't really tell you. But I do want to say, if you buy the Xbox version digitally, it does have the ability to be played on any of those other devices I just mentioned, which is on PC under the Xbox app or on the handhelds under the Xbox app. So I wanted to get into that part too. Xbox's Play Anywhere campaign. I believe I've said before in the past, I didn't know if you needed to have Game Pass or not. If you buy the game, you don't need to have Game Pass to have the Play Anywhere thing. So at one point I mentioned, I believe Hogwarts Legacy was a game where they updated it to be a Play Anywhere title. So if you had bought it under the Xbox storefront, it will allow you to play it on the console side and the PC side, and your save data travels everywhere, which I still think is excellent, because at that point you can play it on any one of your devices, right, and just pick up wherever you left off, whether it's on console or PC, which is a step up from the past and the competition and everything. I don't think anybody is doing anything close to that. But yeah, I also want to go over real quick just a couple more things on Xbox news. So I think I reported, or the internet reported last week, that Xbox is not as store shelves, like it's not as like packed on the shelves and retailers anymore like before. And I know people were just like taking pictures, and like it was like hardly anything over there, right? I have looked into it, and I do know what's going on, and I think everybody's being slightly disingenuous and are just not as aware. But technically it's true and false. And I can really explain in a second, because basically those pictures that people were showing you, I'm willing to bet real money that those stores were in lower economic urban community areas and not like upscale areas. So like if you was to go to a Walmart that's like, more in the hood, for the lack of better term, when you go in there, it most likely will not have as many high-end products. But if you was to go into a Walmart and you go in the suburban areas, all of it would just be there. And I kind of just like, I had thought about it. I was like, this is probably, I don't think this is a coincidence where it's just in my area. But I did look, because I didn't do it on purpose. I was just going into certain stores. But there's a particular Walmart that I know where it's in a lower quality area, and it looks just like some of those pictures where there's nothing there. And then when I go to an area where it's a little bit more higher standard, everything was there, which includes all the systems, not just Xbox, but like the Switch 2. Because you remember I showed you a picture where they had like Switch 2s like quite literally like stacked to the back, like row after row or whatever. But like that was present in the nicer area, but if I went to the low class area, they didn't have the Xboxes, they didn't have the Switch 2, like it, or the PS5s and stuff. But in a nicer area, I saw PS5 Pros, Switch 2s, the Series S and X, and then not only that, the new system, if you call it a system, the Xbox Rog Ally X. This is something I actually had I did not expect to see this in person, unless I went to a Best Buy. I got my regular Rog Ally at a Best Buy, but it was just in a Walmart. And I'm like, ain't this thing like $600 for the base one? It was like, yeah, that one, the white ones were packed in Walmart, in the nicer Walmart. They were not in the bad ones or like lower economic areas. And they had a whole bunch of them, of just the white one. Now the black one was not there, the $1,000 model. And according to the internet, that model is sold out, which I don't know how true that is, but maybe it is. I know I just didn't see it in my Walmart. But it was there. And then there was a nice selection of a bunch of games and stuff there as well. So I really think that when we see that, unfortunately, it holds true for certain areas. I don't think it's like a universal thing. Do you have any thoughts on that at all?
Nah, I think like you said, you kind of covered it. I feel like it is selective to like you have to kind of it's the context of
Mm-hmm.
it when they're trying to call things out. You got to kind of pay attention to the context of things.
Oh, that also reminds me of when, if you remember about a year ago, I think was it a year ago? That's crazy if it was really a whole year ago. But I ran into a Nintendo ambassador, and that was actually at a good Walmart. But when he told me of the event that they were doing, where I believe at the time it was to promote the launch of Super Mario Wonder, that particular event was like really far out. Like it was like nowhere near the hood or whatever. And I think I joked about it back then. I was like, let me be an ambassador. I'll bring this to the hood and I ain't gonna be scared to do whatever, blah, blah, blah. I think I joked about it, but didn't really think about it like on the level of thinking about it now. But that event was supposed to be like 20 miles away, I think, from where I am. 20 to 30 miles away, from where you are, like over an hour drive, I believe. It's still in the same state, but it was way out. Like somebody from a regular neighborhood wouldn't just go out there, right? And I just think that's kind of like what it is. It's just if they're gonna do certain things or have certain stuff just there, it's probably not in certain areas, which is a whole nother political topic, I guess. But yeah, that's just it for that. That's what I just wanted to mention. Just because I don't think people were really being as, maybe they didn't think about it, but like not as, giving full context to Xbox content being in stores, or other products. But yeah, I think if you are somebody who does still want this Rogue Ally, the new one that just dropped a few days ago, Best Buys should have it. You should definitely be able to just order it offline for Best Buy to have it come straight to you. But if you really want to pick it up in person, Best Buys and Walmarts will have them like in the nicer areas. Just drive out like maybe 15 miles out or something, or maybe you are in a nicer area. The Best Buy will probably have the $1,000 model, the black one, but the Walmarts for sure have the white one. Yeah. And that's it. That's all I wanted to mention on that. Are you still interested in the Rogue Ally?
Sort of. So I've been looking at it. I think my main focus right now is just getting a new PC in general. I am interested in it. I'm still kind of looking at Rogue Ally versus Steam Deck. I haven't fully decided exactly what I plan on doing the most with it. Like originally when I was thinking Rogue Ally, it was the original thought was just like I was going to be heavily probably playing Epic games on there, and I'd rather have one that's a little bit easier to integrate Epic stuff. But now it's like, but if I'm going to do emulation, or, either one works, and then I just haven't decided how it's going to be used heavy. So
Okay.
eventually, it's probably going to end up being a Steam Deck, but eventually, I'll get
For the
one.
people out there, just remember if you're buying a game and you own that game digitally, under the storefront, the Xbox storefront, you'll be able to play that game on both the Xbox side as far as console and then also on PC and the handhelds and everything. with the save data moving along. They're really far ahead when it comes to that technology because I was on the computer, right? Or this laptop. I was on the laptop preparing for the podcast, and then all of a sudden I just got this alert saying, we're updating the Xbox, like the console, and it'll be finished soon. I was like, I'm like, what? And I forgot I still had it on sleep mode, I believe. But like it gave me that alert on my computer, right? And it's like I didn't really ask it to do that. It kind of just let me know what was going on. And not only that, it also, like, you know how like a lot of people on PC, they'll have everything under Steam. And Xbox kind of wants you to have everything under their app. Like most likely a lot of people are going to still be under Steam, but like the way Xbox has it set up, everything is already there. Whether it's your Epic storefront, Steam, or if you have like games that you've been playing on the console side and stuff, it just has all this data that's automatically there. Where I know where if you're in Steam, you have to like manually put other storefronts in there into the Steam store, so make it, or in your Steam library to make it all look like this is your big library. Usually you have to manually do it, but with them they just automatically had it, and I was just like, yo, like because I have like when I put up the Hollow Knight Silk Sun footage, I did buy that under Steam, and I didn't go back to it after the footage because of all the games I was playing. But like under the app, it literally has my playtime. It's like you played this game this many days ago and blah blah blah, and it'll like list Steam underneath it to know that's where I was playing under. And I'm like, it just automatically has that data. And I was like, I didn't even put none of that in there, and I thought that was kind of neat. I think they're really far ahead when it comes to that technology. But at the very least, all of that is not related to Game Pass. So if you did want to still take a break due to all the price hikes, you can still enjoy, some of the new technology and everything. And I think that's really good, at least. Because at first I thought that was like stuck under a price tag, the way like Nintendo does theirs with their Nintendo Online, but it's not. You, as long as whatever you pay for, you have that access basically. Yeah, I think we can move forward. I think that was pretty much it for that. Let me see. Let's do this. Let's go straight into the middle of the road. We could talk about Epic Games and their free stuff. Everybody loves free. Shout out to free. I love free. Epic Games gives out like 1 to 2 games per week. And as we get closer to the holiday season in December, they'll give out a game like almost every day. And in that list, at least 2 or 3 of them will actually be some big AAA titles. But they give out a game all the time, every week, usually on a Thursday at 11 a.m. if you want to, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, if you want to be like catch it immediately so you don't have to think about it. The games that they have right now, I think one of them is Amnesia the Bunker, which is available right now until October 23rd. Keep that date in mind, October 23rd. And then I believe Samaros 3, I think I spoke on that last week. And then from October 23rd to October 30th, they have the game called Fear the Spotlight. I think this is more of one of those titles that they gave away for Halloween. This is more of a PC game where you're walking around with a flashlight, and then spooky stuff just jump out in front of you and everything. Fear the Spotlight, not to be mixed up with like the actual Fear games from the 360 PS3 era. Those are different. But yeah, sales. I actually wasn't really trying to find all these sales, but a lot of sales actually came up, and I usually don't do as many sales as I would want to, but we had some Black Friday worthy sales that was out here on both the Steam store and then under the Xbox app. The one thing I want to mention that I think was kind of cool was like Xbox was doing like this 99 cents sale. And there was one particular game that I did get under there that was called I Am the Hero. So this is a digital game, and this was like a side scroller and like a dude doing like some martial arts and stuff. It's not really, it's your standard 2D type game. So again, that is I Am the Hero. Go check that out. And then also, I believe that had the Xbox Play Anywhere title. So you can play it under the console and the PC side and handhelds and all of that, right? And your save data carries, basically. Hogwarts Legacy. I know I've mentioned the Xbox Play Anywhere version, but under Steam, this game is literally right now going for $8.99. It will be $8.99 until October 23rd. I don't think I've ever seen this game drop that low. They're practically giving it away, and that's still not a slouch title. I know it had its controversy and everything, and it was like ignored by the industry for it, but that's still a big AAA game with a nice player base, right? So I guess they made their money. Maybe they don't want any more money or something, but $8.99 is an absolute steal for this under Steam. I did see the same title in different Walmarts where you can get the physical version for as low as $15. And then in some areas it's like $20. Absolute steal for this title. Would you agree? You played this, right? You played it day one, right?
Oh, which game?
This is Hogwarts Legacy. You're not paying attention, man. What's going on?
Sorry, got a lot of messages going on from other stuff. But
he ain't paying attention, y'all.
Hogwarts Legacy is absolutely worth it. It's one of my favorite games. Fantastic game. I mean, it should have been Game of the Year. Sold like it was Game of the Year.
Well, you know, we give games Game of the Years that don't sell.
It sold. It sold what it needed to get Game of the Year. You gonna stop hating on Astro? It won. Deal with it.
I'm just saying, we don't. You know.
But no, Hogwarts Legacy definitely. Especially if you're an RPG fan, it's great, and if you're a Harry Potter fan, it's even better. Like, it is like I really want them to do some sort of sequel for it. We'll see, but nah, yeah, fantastic game, definitely worth it.
All right. Also, on sale until October 23rd under Steam, Yakuza Like a Dragon. That is $7.99. Another game that is basically being given away. I'm used to, when I say Steam games being under $10, it's usually some side scroller hack and slash or beat 'em up, Metrovania style game. I don't expect the AAA ones to drop to this price. $7.99, $8.99. I don't expect that. So
that's nice.
That's something, definitely jump on that. You can't even get a pizza anymore for this price no more. So definitely jump on that. The Yakuza series had a sale across the board, so there was a lot of other Yakuza games that was low like this, and I did jump on one of them, which was one of the newer ones, which was called Like a Dragon, The Man Who Erased His Name. This one isn't really that old at all. It can't be more than 1 to 2 years old, but that is on sale under Steam. On Steam until October 23rd as well. This one is for $17.49. I decided to just grab it. It's still a relatively newer game for the Yakuza series or Like a Dragon series. And I didn't have that one. I have pretty much all the other ones. So I snagged it. I still think that's a good deal. $17.49 for that. That is Like a Dragon, The Man Who Erased His Name. And then if I jump back to the Xbox app, still under the Play Anywhere campaign. So again, this could be played on the console and on PC and the handhelds and everything. But they had Gotham Knights, the deluxe version, which has all the content. That was $8.99.
Oh, definitely worth it.
$8.99.
So I am not one of the people who hated that game. I think if you walk in knowing it's not Arkham, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you know that it's not Arkham, it's fine. There is, it's always some things that you can pick apart from it. But I thought it was I enjoyed it the whole time that I was playing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I really got into the character, especially if you stick with one character. At some point, I plan on replaying it and focusing. Like I kind of played with mainly two with the characters, Nightwing and Red Hood, and I want to go back and like really play it really with just Batgirl and Robin. I did
Mm-hmm.
enough to like unlock all of their full story stuff, but like once the story stuff was done, I was like, I'm playing Red Hood. And then like when I wanted to, I played Nightwing, but really I played Red Hood for the whole thing. But $8.99 definitely worth it for that game. It was fun.
Yeah. And then one thing I bought Gotham Knight physical, so I don't have the Play Anywhere campaign for it. But what I do like is that if a game comes out later, and I do buy the Xbox version, I could play. Like if you don't have an Xbox and you have a PC, but I still want to play a little bit on Xbox and then play with you co-op later. I could still do both. You know what I mean? That to me is a win, which is something I didn't really expect until like now. But Streets of Rage 4 was another one, also where you can play everywhere. That's on sale for $8.74. And then I wanted to highlight a Souls game that pretty much was forgotten about. I believe this is called Thymesia. I had already bought this a while back, but Thymesia is right now on sale under the Xbox storefront for $10.49. I mean, for a lot of these things, I think the last couple of games I've mentioned so far, if you add them all together, it still doesn't come to $70, and you got, a whole bunch of titles, right, to play in different genres, different varieties, and I think it's pretty cool that we, have this, and not everything is just an arm and a leg. Unfortunately, and what's funny about it is the Pokemon game costs more than all of this combined. And it is not even really on the same caliber. But at least we have the options now to play on the console and PC simultaneously. And with the save data just jumping back and forth, however you want to do it. So for anybody out there, look out for the Play Anywhere, Xbox Play Anywhere in the description. And if you see that, you know that you could play it on console and PC and handhelds, basically. So that's dope. Any sales, anything coming from your neck of the woods as far as Amazon? Anything else?
No new sales from the ones that I mentioned before. However, do keep in mind that they do have all of those games available, and I think the end of next week should be the last set, so it'll be a good time to go grab them all.
Yeah, so Amazon, I don't know if I mentioned it before, they did have that Lego Horizon game. I did buy that for $20. That was a part of that sale that they did, which I think was a Prime sale or something. They did something like that last week, where a whole bunch of stuff was on sale. I do know I have that title, and I don't think I bought anything else. But the funny thing about it is, I knew the Pokemon game was coming, but I didn't really know the exact date. It's a bunch of them Nintendo games. I don't know the exact date. They just gonna show up in the mail. It just showed up in the mail. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I did get that. So as more of them come in the mail, because I pre-order like 5 or 6, like I'll have footage and I'll try to get impressions for every little thing. But anyways, let's move on real quick. I want you to speak on this title before the footage is over, because I think this is not as long footage. But this was Nobody Saves the World. You want to tell us about this? This was your title, right? Or your footage?
This is a fun game. I'm gonna jump back into it, but it's like, as you see, one of your top-down games, or you're this character that's kind of like a blank slate, and he's able to morph into different types of characters. So like a mouse, or as you see, I'm about to morph into this like giant knight with strength, and it's kind of like a puzzle game with like a bunch of enemies that you're trying to beat up, and then like figure out puzzles to get through and save some wizard. Doesn't feel like like too long of a game. It's a nice like chill background game to play. But yeah, it was pretty fun. It was just something that was on my PS Plus list, and I was like, here, let me try this out and see. Well, I was looking for something that was pretty small. So
okay, so you played this under PlayStation, PS5. Okay. And it runs just fine, right? There's not really. It don't look like it's demanding at all. So
no, it's nowhere near demanding.
And it also don't take up no space really on the hard drive either, right?
No, that thing was for sure under 5 gigs. It might have been like around 2, maybe less. But yeah, it doesn't require much at all.
Do you play as a mouse? Is this a mouse?
Yeah, so you get to morph your person. So right now I'm a mouse that can like leave toxic like bites, and then you have like a knight that you can play, and like an archer, and then there's some other stuff. But you're like just trying to solve different puzzles. But yeah, the first one you turn into is a mouse.
All right. Okay. Is it game of the year? No,
nah.
Didn't come out this year. Probably didn't come out this year.
It ain't game of the year, but it's fun. It's definitely fun.
Shout out to this game. Not everything needs to be action adventure, over the shoulder, super cinematic. And you know what? To be fair, not everything needs cutscenes either, or everything needs voice acting either. But I mean, from what I was saying from earlier, like if you're gonna make it look like it's like y'all talking for like a really long period of time, you might as well have voice acting. But games come in all shapes and sizes, all type of genres, everything. And this could be a breath of fresh air for you. Anybody out there, this definitely looked like something you could play on the handheld for sure.
Yeah, it does feel very handheld.
This is a very handheldish game. So but there people out there, they can still on the Rogue you can still do like PlayStation Portal type situation. You can do that on the Rogue. You just look up the tutorial on how to do it. And then from my understanding too, they did an update on the PlayStation Portal where you don't need the system no more. So you can just play on the Portal now going forward too. Look that up as well if anybody's into that. I don't have one. I can't really speak on it or test it out, but yeah. So we can move forward, I guess. What's going on with Good Old Games and Capcom? I know you mentioned a couple things. What's happening with these?
This is just an interesting little story that happened throughout the week. It was revealed. So last year, GOG had released the original like Resident Evils again, like 1, 2, and 3, and they all have like a 94% like critic score, like or like viewer score, like rating, and like.
Yeah, I was looking at those recently. Yeah.
Turns out it almost didn't happen. They had to like beg, plead, and heavily convince Capcom to like let them sell them, because Capcom execs were apparently confused when GOG was just like, can we like resell some of the old ones, and they're just like, why? We got the new ones and they're better. Like they're like the remakes are superior. Why would you play the old ones? So originally they're just like no, and they kept really like pushing to get them to release 1, 2, and 3, and just let us do it. And they're like, all right, leave us alone, fine, just go ahead. And then it ended up selling really well and got really high reviews. And they're still like confused about it, like from Capcom. They just don't get it.
Man, I feel bad. I should have had my Resident Evil footage, because I had already took the footage and it's already cut. I just didn't get it for this because I actually went back because remember I said before one of the games that I was playing for October is the original Resident Evil 4, not the remake. And when I tell you within the first few minutes, I wanted to cut it off so bad. I wanted to play the remake so bad simply because of the controls. I was like, you remember when we played Resident Evil 5? It was those controls, but it was like slightly stepped down. Because, you know, probably the fifth one was like a little bit more fine-tuned. It was like the main thing, if you remember, when you aim and shoot, you are stuck in place, right? You can only look around to shoot, and you got to really try to focus and aim while the people trying to come at you or whatever. That's how it is. And it was really jarring because, you know, I was rushing through Doom. And Doom is like fast, right? Doom is very fast. You're running all over the place. You're shooting and moving all over the place. So when you go from that and then you go to this type of title and you're stuck in place, it's like really jarring. It took everything in me to say, like, let me stick with this. Because I swear, I was like, you know what? I'm about to just play the remake because I actually have both. I have them both on PlayStation. But I stuck with it. I don't really I'm not that far into the game. I'm probably like 30 minutes in. So it was really just the beginning, like what looked like the demo from the remake. It was like just like that, but like really, you know, toned down with graphics and everything because it was the original. But man, those controls, bro. I was just like, bro, I can't move. And like, you know how, so it's the same situation. The people are slow walking up to you with their axes and stuff. And like, I'm sitting here trying my hardest to aim. And just like in the Pokemon game or in the earlier footage, like I'm running back, you know, because I don't know if you remember, we had to do that in 5. Like you have to run back a little bit to get more distance just to aim and everything. 5 was still a lot much more funner because we was playing it and having fun, but like by yourself it's like, oh my god. It ain't got nothing to do with like it being scary or any of that. It was just the control. I was like, bro, no, I gotta be able to move. I was literally on the computer trying to find like a PC version, like a modded version. Because I thought like maybe somebody may have fixed it. I was trying to find it and it was like, no, it's like literally incorporated into the game. Like you can't get around it. That's just how it is. And what's funny is like Good Old Games has Resident Evil 2 and 3, the originals. I do still want to try those, even though I played the remakes of 2 and 3. 2 is fantastic. 3 was a little bit of a step down. But the 2 remake is a fantastic game.
According to most, the 2 and 2 remake and 3 and 3 remake are basically different games. Like a lot of people are saying they're different experiences.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say like the remake's superior. It just feels like a whole different game with the same plot. So it would be worth trying to play out.
Yeah. I am gonna play 2 and 3, and I know they have tank controls as well. It's a little bit better when it's like that though, because it's like those are top-down viewpoints. But Resident Evil 4 was like one of the most one of the original over-the-shoulder point of views. You know, like that everybody goes, you know, crazy over now. But that was one of the first times that was ever done. But you just like it aged basically, like the controllers aged a little bit. I was watching some videos where people were trying to defend it and everything. And I was like, okay, I understand your viewpoint, but it's like this 2025 is it's hard to make them arguments where that game came out, I believe in 2002 or 2003, somewhere way back then, you know. I'm gonna try to like hustle through it. I don't know if I'm gonna get it completely done before Halloween though. But I'm gonna try to get as much of it done as possible. But that's my next best game basically. Um, but yeah, the old games are still important. Even if you didn't play those and you play like something under emulation that's like long dead and the companies are like long get dead. I do think it's still important to play old stuff as well as the new stuff. Now's the perfect time to jump back in the past where everybody else is like, you know, trying to squeeze every dollar out of you as they can. You might as well play something old and say, because everybody's trying to make a remake right now anyway, a remake or a remaster or however they want to name it. But it's like the originals were the originals. They did it correct the first time around. And everybody else is just trying to squeeze a dollar based off of the fame of those older titles. Steam Deck is an awesome system to play a lot of those old titles. It actually brings me into my next topic too. Did you watch that one video where they're just now starting to do the Ayn Thor's reviews? Not necessarily impressions, but like reviews is coming out. And I sent you one.
Did not.
Oh my God. Man, what you do? Man, you know what, man? How far are you? Since we talking about Resident Evil, give the people an update on how far you are in Resident Evil 7, man. Let people know.
I'm unstarted.
We need your footage on that. You should have had the footage ready because you was going to talk about the Resident Evil, man. You should have had that footage ready. You should have had yours ready. What we talking about, man? Listen, the Ayn Thor. The Ayn Thor has reviews and stuff out. You can go and buy it yourself, I guess. I know we touched on the prices. We touched on everything else before. From what I've seen with some of the reviews, people are saying it's a near perfect replica of DS and 3DS, but it's not perfect. And the key takeaway they say is this is a good add-on to fill in the gaps, but don't, get rid of your original hardware because it's not perfect. In some cases, the one thing that's technically unplayable is those rhythm games, the ones where it's almost like Guitar Heroes, but you're using the stylus. Okay. Like, those are not uniform. Like, they might be a half a second off sometimes, just because it's still emulation and they don't get it completely precise every single time. So some of those games are not 100% playable. You can still get through them. I don't know how many people really want to go back and play those type of games though. I'm pretty sure everybody still wants to go through the Pokemons, all of that stuff. But if you were somebody who was looking into playing the rhythm titles, I don't know what to tell you. Basically, they're not going to work. You're going to have to use original hardware to work with that, because sometimes it might be off. Or if you have like a stutter or something because of shaders that's trying to compile itself, that's another reason why the rhythm games will not be one-to-one like that. From what I've been hearing, is really just that. Now, I'm not into the Just Dance type titles or anything. I want to play the real titles. I ain't playing that. The other complaint I've seen people have was just basically this is not really a good device to play something like Call of Duty. That to me is tongue-in-cheek in itself. It's like, I'm definitely not about to get this device to play Call of Duty. So thank you. But the Ambernick device was the one device that is advertising itself to be under $100. So that in itself is a little disingenuous. So when they say that it's under $100, it's actually looking to be retailed at $99.99. So obviously the tax and stuff is going to make it go over $100. And then at the same time, that's also not including the tariff upcharge that they usually include on the shipping. So keep that in mind. You're really looking at probably close to like 150-ish, not necessarily 100. So as long as you keep your expectations in check with that, you won't get hit with the surprise. But they're trying to they're trying to advertise it as under 100. The other thing that came up with it is it's possible that that device will be bottlenecked in comparison to the Thor, obviously because of the price point, but also in the performance with DS and 3DS, mainly 3DS. So we got to wait and see what's going on with the Ambernick device because we don't have too much data on it. But so far, the Thor device is firing on all cylinders. And at the very least, the price point, everybody is saying to get the base one and not the light. The light was the one that was $250 that is supposed to handle 3DS and DS with no problem. But they say the base model, which I believe is the $300 model, is your best choice if you're still looking for DS, 3DS, and don't really want to do nothing more modern. You have any thoughts on that at all?
So it's cool that it's bridging the gap. It does suck for the rhythm game thing. Not being like, perfect. I'm not necessarily thinking Just Dance, but I wonder if that counts for other games that have like rhythm timing like in them.
Yeah,
like,
the rhythm timing is the main thing.
Yeah, so there are some chunks of games that like aren't fully turn-based and do have that, where you need some good timing. So that's unfortunate for it. Maybe that's something that can be fixed down the line.
It might.
Patches. I knew the other one was gonna be like, it's like, hey, we're under 100, but like, not really, right? Because like, it was kind of expected, right? It's all those things. It was like, this is less than $10, and it's $9.99, and it's like, well, technically, it's like, semantics, right? Technically, right is right. But I'm moreover just happy that the hardware exists.
Yeah, and plus with Ambernick especially, they are known for improving on the hardware and then getting that hardware out like quickly. But there is also an unfortunate thing about that too, because you might get stuck with a lesser version of a hardware, and then next thing you know, 2 months down the line, the better version is out there, but you already bought this lesser version. Where with the Thor device, it might end up just being like a software update. You know what I mean?
That also might be part of the price point though for the Ambernick 2. Right? Like the idea is like, dang, they just released a better one, but like, you dropped 150, and then let's say you wait 2 more and then drop another 150, right? And it's still going to be slightly less than some of the other ones where you only had to buy one.
I honestly think they were taking the Apple approach when they were first introducing those iPods, where it was like, here's an iPod, here's one that's slightly smaller. Okay, now this one is touchscreen. Now the next one actually has a camera, and they were doing that year after year, and it was like only increasing like slightly. But with Ambernick, it's like, here's a $60 device, but we're giving it to you every month. And there were people who were actually getting them every month. I got one, but like the Game Boy Advance thing was crazy. They sold crazy amounts of those. People wanted the SP looking one. They wanted the advanced looking one. They wanted the Game Boy Color looking one. And I'm in some of those groups where I could see people post pictures, and they'll have every last one of them in multiple colors. And they all do the exact same thing. Just because they're cheaper, and people just buy them. They just keep on buying them. But yeah, we're going to keep looking at it. I'm still actively preparing for it. Hopefully I have everything I need, to go by Black Friday time, software wise. I still got to go out there and get, a little SD card that could fit everything. But anyways, game on the screen is Motorsport, or Forza Motorsport. I think this game came out last year, It's not Horizon 5, but still very nice, realistic looking racing game. I don't have too much to say on it, but I was kind of just playing it here and there while I still had access to Game Pass. No intentions on trying to beat this. It's just a racer, but it's still a fantastic title. Any other news or topics or anything you want to get off your chest before we get up out of here?
Oh, nothing for me.
All right, so I guess that's pretty much it. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I think I did mention before we weren't supposed to be here this week, but we are here this week. It's a good possibility I might not be here next week. But after that, we'll still just carry on like normal. And other than that, I will catch you on the next episode. Peace.